Raise your hand right where you are. Has there ever been a time when you experienced disappointment and frustration about the way things were going in your marriage? I once had many unmet expectations and felt hopeless. My name is Lucille Reddick, and I am the Marriage Reconnection Coach and the founder of Chosen Wives Tribe. I have been navigating these marriage streets for 37 years. I recognize that sometimes married women feel disconnected from their husbands. I am passionate about supporting wives by empowering them to improve their communication skills, to reconnect, and create happy and healthy marriages. I'm going to share a story that will help single and married men and women. And at the end, I'll share 3 tips that helped me take my marriage from surviving to thriving. At this particular time in my life, I'd been married for about 7 years. I went to the hair salon about every 2 weeks. My time with the hairstylist was like a therapy session. She was a good listener, had a friendly manner, and always offered a different perspective. We had about an hour and a half to talk. While she was washing my hair and styling it, I stated emphatically, I want a divorce. I just knew no one else was dealing with what I was dealing with. She asked me some unexpected questions. Does your husband drink in excess? And I said, no. Does your husband have affairs on you, or is he a womanizer? And I said, no. Does he beat you or abuse you emotionally or physically? And I said, no, he better not. No, he doesn't do any of those things. The problem is, he won't help me keep the house clean. For example, he'll take off his socks, throw his socks in the direction of the hamper, but if they miss the hamper, they'll land beside the hamper, and that's where they'll stay until I pick them up. That just frustrates me to no end. And you're not going to believe what she said. She said, things could be a lot worse. I thought to myself, yes, they could. She said, he doesn't do any of those things I asked you about. I said, I understand. Now, please know that small things can turn into large things when left unaddressed. And if any of you are dealing with the situations I just mentioned, please know that the Lord can heal and he redeems. My choices were, I could focus on the negatives, or I could focus on the positives. My husband is affectionate, loyal, caring, patient, understanding, and a good father to our children. The previous things I mentioned are not only the only things that could define a difficult marriage. Every marriage is different. The two of you are on the same team. Together, you get to decide what your marriage looks like. It will be uniquely yours. That's why we need Jesus to help us create a marriage that is for our benefit and his glory. I was reminded of a quote by Emily Dickinson that said, "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all." Also, I want to share a verse with you, a scripture. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future." I still had hope that our marriage would not just survive, but thrive. Here are 3 things that helped me. I encourage you to try them too. Take your marriage from just surviving to thriving. Number 1, prayer. I ask God to help me see my husband the way he sees him. I ask the Lord daily, even now, to please give my husband peace of mind as he deals with the stresses of life. Give him clarity and wisdom as he makes decisions for himself and our family. Order his steps daily, please. Number 2, to take your marriage from just surviving to thriving. Know your value. You are his good thing, your husband's good thing. Proverbs 18:22 states, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord." And what does a good thing mean? Good means quality, superior, virtue, dignity, benefit, enjoyment, and satisfaction. It's important to realize your value. I was so busy taking care of everyone else that I forgot or discounted my value. I put everyone's needs before my own. My husband said that I was beautiful, smart, and loved. I realized that he loves and needs my respect and affirmation. Take your marriage from just surviving to thriving. Number 3, communication. I encourage you to identify and speak each other's love language. My new book, That Secret Sauce, Essential Ingredients for Creating an Exceptional Marriage, touches on love languages and strategies to practice speaking each other's love language daily. I am able now that I know my love language and my husband's love language to give more encouragement and support, verbally and non-verbally. Consider saying something like, "Thank you for doing what you do for me." Another one would be, "I really appreciate what you do for us." Also, be mindful of how you say your words. Oh, and communication involves listening as well. Now, I hope you commit to taking your marriage from surviving to thriving by incorporating prayer to see your husband through God's eyes. 2, to know your value. You are a good thing, a treasure. So recognize your worth. Communicate your spouse's love language and teach him yours so you both can give and receive love in a meaningful way. I've created a free ebook about communication. You can download it at 7tips.lucillereddick.com. That's the number 7. No spaces, just 7tips.lucillereddick.com. Connect with me on all social media platforms at Lucille Reddick. Remember that God has given you everything you need to take your marriage from surviving to thriving. Thank you.